Hello again. I would like to thank you for the nice comment about Hansel and Gretel. I will admit it was a lot more, well, unexciting than I thought it would be. And that with a horrible death by fire and everything. Oh well. This week I plan to read The Frog King or Iron Heinrich because, because it is the first story in the book and I'm feeling lazy. I have not heard this title before, so let us discover the story together. Oh, I do hope it's soul crushing and childhood destroying. Good. I hope it's good. Here we go. One fine evening, a young princess put on her bonnet and clogs and went out to take a walk by herself in the woods. Bonnet and clogs? Who is she, Heidi? She's a princess. Well, maybe she gets eaten by a bear or something. Best to have hope. When she came to a cool spring of water that rose in the midst of it, oh, that's an artesian spring. She found an artesian spring like my home. Oh, I like this story so much more now. She sat herself down to rest a while. Now she had a golden ball in her hand, which was her favorite plaything. Did they mention this when they told us about the bonnet and the clogs? I don't think they did. And she was always tossing it up in the air and catching it again as it fell. After a time, she threw it up so high that she missed catching it as it fell, and the ball bounced away. Wait, gold bounces? And while I'm thinking about it, how big is this ball? Because gold is heavy. Have I been picturing the wrong person here? And rolled along the ground till at last it fell down into the spring. You could hurt somebody that way. The princess looked into the spring after her ball, but it was very deep, so deep that she could not see the bottom of it. Then she began to bewail her loss. Bewail, that is a good word. Alas, she said, if only I could get my ball again, I would give all my fine clothes and jewels and everything that I have in the world. Even your bonnet? While she was speaking, a frog put his head out of the water and said, Ouch! Someone just hit me with a gold ball! I'm kidding. He really said, Princess, why do you weep so bitterly? Alas, she said, what can you do for me, you nasty frog? Rude. My golden ball has fallen into the spring. The frog said, I want not your pearls and jewels and the fine clothes, but if you will love me and let me live with you and eat from your golden plate and sleep upon your bed, I will bring you your ball. Ha! Well, it's a good thing he doesn't want much. No, princess, I don't want your stuff. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. What nonsense, thought the princess. This silly frog is talking. Shouldn't it actually be, this frog is talking? Were talking animals everywhere in the olden days? He can never even get out of the spring to visit me, though he may be able to get my ball for me, and therefore I will tell him he shall have what he asks. I feel like we dealt with this kind of woman in Hansel and Gretel, too. So she said to the frog, Well, if you will bring me my ball, I will do all you ask. Then the frog put his head down and dived deep under the water, and after a little while he came up again with the ball in his mouth. How strong is this frog? And maybe it's more like, a golden marble? And he threw it on the edge of the spring. As soon as the young princess saw the ball, she ran to pick it up, and she was so overjoyed to have it in her hand that she never thought of the frog, but ran home with it as fast as she could. In clogs? So not very fast then, more like shuffle, 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 shuffle. The frog called after her, Stay, princess, and take me with you as you said. But she did not stop to hear a word. Also rude. I turned the... Oh, thank you. Copyright! Oh, phew. Almost got a copyright strike there. Thank you. Best cameraman ever. Okay, Granny Maggie, we can't turn the pages unless we get a non-copywritten book. I apparently need a different book. Alrighty. The next day, as the princess had sat down to dinner, she heard a strange noise. Tap, tap, plash, plash. Oh, what a relief it is. Tap, tap, oh, sorry. As if something was coming up in the marble staircase, and soon afterward there was a gentle knock at the door, and a little voice cried out and sang, "Open the door, my princess dear, open the door to thy true love here, and mind the words that thou and I said by the fountain cool in the green wood shed." Sorry, shade and said do not actually rhyme. We'll just pretend. The Grimm brothers were clearly not poets. Also, the true love bit, that's a bit presumptuous. It's not like they even had a full conversation. Then the princess ran to the door and opened it, and there she saw the frog, whom she had quite forgotten. At this sight, she was sadly frightened, and, shutting the door as fast as she could, came back to her seat. Don't they have servants, attendants, something? Small kingdom. The king, her father. Yes, thank you for clearing that up, Mr. Grimm. We would have never known that was her father. Seeing that something had frightened her, asked her what was the matter. "There is this nasty frog," she said, "at the door, that lifted my ball for me out of the spring this morning. I told him that he should live with me here, thinking that he could never get out of the spring. But there he is at the door, and he wants to come in." Wow, she just said it all right out like that. So she's manipulative, whiny, entitled, and incredibly stupid. But, strong enough to toss around a ball made of gold, so. While she was speaking, the frog knocked again and said that really bad poem-like thing again, so we're just going to skip it. Then the king said to the young princess, "As you have given your word, you must keep it, and so go and let him in." Wow, unexpected. A good king and nice fatherly advice. I mean, is this still a Grimm story? And so she did, and the frog hopped into the room, and then straight on, tap, tap, plash, plash, from the bottom of the room to the top, till he came up close to the table where the princess sat. "Pray lift me upon the chair," said he to the princess, "and let me sit next to you." As soon as she had done this, the frog said, "Put your plate nearer to me, that I may eat out of it." What do frogs eat? Let's see. Per Google, adult frogs eat insects that they can catch with their long, sticky tongue and other invertebrates such as snails, slugs, and worms. What is this princess having for dinner? Remind me not to eat there. This she did, and when he had eaten as much as he could, he said, "Now I am tired. Carry me upstairs and put me into your bed." You, this is a children's story, Took him up to her. And the princess, though very unwillingly, took him in her hand and put him upon the pillow of her own bed. Now may be a good time to bring up the very important concept of consent. If you ask somebody if they want tea, maybe later, where he slept all night long. Where did she sleep? As soon as it was light, he jumped up, hopped downstairs, and went out of the house. "Now then," thought the princess, "at last he is gone, and I shall be troubled with him no more." But she was mistaken, for when night came again, she heard the same tapping at the door and the same horrible poem. You know what? I think maybe next time he should just hire a mariachi band or something. And when the princess opened the door, the frog came in and slept upon her pillow as before, till morning broke. And the third night he did the same thing. But when the princess awoke on the following morning, she was astonished to see, instead of a frog, a handsome prince. Security! Gazing on her with the most beautiful eyes she had ever seen. "Security! There's a man in my room!" Standing at the head of her bed. "Guards! Someone! Anyone! Dad! Help!" He told her that he had been enchanted by a spiteful fairy who had changed him into a frog, and that he had been fated to abide till some princess should take him out of the spring and let him eat from her plate and sleep upon her bed for 3 nights. You, said the prince, have broken his cruel charm, and now I have nothing to wish for but that you should go with me into my father's kingdom, where I will marry you and love you as long as you will live. Wait, seriously? Did I did I miss some falling in love part in this story? All right, fine, sure. I'm sure it'll be fine. Um, okay. The young princess, you may be sure, was not long in saying yes to all of this. Where is security? Anyone? And as they spoke, a gay oh, in the olden days, gay means bright and colorful. As they spoke, a gay coach drove up with 8 beautiful horses decked with plumes of feathers and a golden harness. Wait, into her room? How big are her hallways? I mean, a horse and 8, that's. Behind the coach rode the prince's servant, faithful Heinrich, who had bewailed the misfortunes of his dear master during his enchantment so long and so bitterly that his heart had well nigh burst. Is this coming out of nowhere for anyone else? Then they took leave of the king and got into the coach with 8 horses, and all set out full of joy and merriment for the prince's kingdom, which they reached safely. And there they lived happily a great many years. What? Oh, well, that was sudden. And all right, does any story have love's first kiss? I mean, this story was, hey, let me sleep with you for 3 nights and I'll turn you into a prince. I have a problem with this. Oh, I should have looked through the book for Rapunzel. This story is, well, it's just bad and boring and weird and out of nowhere, and no wonder everyone adds things to it. I mean, it can only get better, right? Uh, you know, Disney even had trouble making this into a movie. I mean, it was a good movie, and I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of the Shadow Man, but it killed hand-drawn animation. Well, I guess I should tell you now is the time to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe give me some requests because I clearly need help choosing stories. This was wow. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and join me next time when I don't know, you'll see me repeatedly beat my head against this book because the stories are so terrible.